A few weeks ago, my mom and I were talking about her collection of Thomas Kincaid prints. I find it quite humorous that she has more of his work on her walls than she does of mine. And of course, I was giving her a hard time about her collection, and she was telling me where she had found them and which ones were her favorites. To prove her affinity, she pulled out of a drawer an old calendar with 12 scenes of Thomas Kincaid's work and thumbed through the pristine pages to one of her favorite pieces, which, by the way, also adorns her wall. I took a look at the calendar and then at the other copy on the wall, and I was instantly furious. The print on her wall had obviously faded with the telltale signs of a print that has been reproduced with the same process that the calendar had been printed. The print had faded in intensity and started to look bluer than it did when it was first printed. This is an indicator of a cheap mass-produced print. She had purchased a so-called fine art print that was just as quality as the calendar I was holding in my hand. She had been duped by an unscrupulous gallery taking advantage of the artist and the patron. I'm Michelle Levan, the artist, coming to you from the ARTprintExpress.com studio. And today I want to give you a tip about buying prints so that you will not find yourself in the same situation. Today there are many ways to produce artwork, and it can be cheap and easy to print thousands of prints using the average offset printing process that is used also to create calendars. This process is intended for publications and short-term display items. They are not meant to be investments in art and should never be offered by a gallery as fine art prints. One of the easiest ways to check to see if a print is created with the offset print process is to look for dots on the page with a magnifying glass. They will look something like this. There is a clear pattern of overlaying dots of cyan, magenta, and yellow, and black, kind of like the pop art of the 1960s. There are some quality art prints that are created with the offset process, and these are called lithos, which is short for lithography, and archival inks are used in the process. The quality of the ink is the first thing they should brag about. The archival inks are much more expensive than the typical offset inks because they are designed to last a very long time without fading, which is worth bragging about, don't you think? So if they are not bragging about it, it is time to ask questions or assume that what they are offering is not a quality print. The other way museum quality fine art prints are created is through the giclée process, which is basically an inkjet printer process. This is the process that ARTprintExpress.com uses to create museum quality prints with a 9900 Epson printer. The inks that are used in the Epson are ultrachrome HDR inks, and the papers that I always use are the recommended media. The art that is reproduced is printed one at a time, individually inspected, and will last up to 200 years. Independent tests have shown that these prints will last up to 4 times longer than even lab photo prints. In the spirit of full disclosure, I must mention that this rating is based on accelerated tests with properly displayed prints under UV filtered glass, as all fine art prints should be displayed. This is the kind of information that every print seller should be talking about freely and openly. If they are not, you must be concerned about the quality of your purchase. The last thing that I want is for any of my artists or art lovers to concern themselves with the longevity of their print, or to experience the disappointment that my mom found with her beloved print slowly fading and turning blue on her wall. It is just tragic to see art with ARTitude fade and fail to feed your soul because someone wanted to make a quick buck with a cheap print. If you have found this information on quality prints useful, share it with your friends on your favorite social media form of expression. And until next time, may your life be filled with ARTitude.